Hi guys! Welcome back to my vlog. So in today's video, will be about me going to the Jazzkaar festival in Tallinn, Estonia. So now I am here in Europe and I'm on my way to Tallinn to the Jazzkaar festival. So just to help you understand the festival, I'm going to share its history, okay? So listen to me, and this is good. So because of the occupation of the Soviet Union in this country, it was mostly hostile to jazz. And for many years, the saxophone was outlawed. That the saxophone was regarded as an especially dangerous purveyor of Western decadence. So yet as far back as 1949, jazz lovers in Estonia were able to organize some concerts that they called a festival. So it continued on and off until 1966. When they started calling it the Tallinn International Jazz Festival, then in 1967, a famous incident occurred. It made the New York Times, and from the point of view of the American jazz community, was Tallinn's first and only 15 minutes of fame. Charles Lloyd appeared with his popular quartet with Keith Jarrett, John McClure, and John DeJohnette. The band exceeded the time allotted in the government-approved program, and a large crowd was driven wild by the strange experience of freedom that Lloyd's music aroused. They shouted and carried on. The communist apparatchiks, present as official observers, were so uncomfortable with this public display of chaotic, unauthorized emotion that they pulled the plug on the concert. Then the crowd screaming, Lloyd Jazz, threatened the riot for real. So the government overseers reluctantly plugged Lloyd back in and let him finish the show. But the fate of the Tallinn International Jazz Festival was sealed. It went dark for 23 years. Then, in 1990, a small festival was held in Tallinn. It now called itself Jazzkaar, which is a play on Estonian words. A Jazzkaar is a village party and a Vikerkaar is a rainbow. A Jazzkaar is therefore both a party and a music rainbow. Like so, many jazz festivals, Jazzkaar is the brainchild and life's work of a single individual. When Anne Erm, the founder of this festival, started it from scratch in 1990, it was still Soviet times. Although Soviet control had already started to unravel, by the second year in 1991, Estonia was emerging from its 47 years of communist twilight. So Erm's day gig was at a radio station in Tallinn. She possessed zero experience in the business side of the music business, but she was apparently persuasive. So legend has it that in the early days, she always carried a plastic bag to meetings with potential sponsors, public and private. The bag contained her meager portfolio of meager advertisements and photos. So in the deprivation of Soviet times, she did not own a briefcase. So against all odds, got Jazzkaar off the ground by 2014, and she was the artistic director of a 10-day festival celebrating its 25th anniversary, with 26 concerts in 3 venues, plus an off festival with music in the cafes, trams, streets F, Old Town. Guys, we have now arrived here in the festival, and I have a friend here who will now discuss the SWOT analysis and characteristics of the festival.
Let's talk about the SWOT analysis of Tallinn, Estonia. Now let's begin with its strengths. Openness and tech-driven innovation, free commerce, adaptability, and individual freedom were more likely to be its strengths. Next one is in the framework of liberal economic and trade regulations, a secure internet and web environment, Tallinn City's region's strong ICT sector, vibrant startup culture, and competitive transferable services are more attractive. Now, lastly, in the geographical location, element is intended to protect Tallinn City region from the harmful mitigate consequences of climate change and unwelcome migration. Now let's begin with its weaknesses. Due to Estonia's small size and international gateway position weakness related to scale and structure, population economy were more frequently identified in the context of growth and globalization, whereas protectionism and segregation or popularization are expected to cause relatively more harm for Tallinn City in the region of Estonia. Now for its opportunities, alignment with Scandinavia was seen as the greatest condition for precedent for the favorable business opportunities, such as Scandinavia is the home of market, joint scales and promotions in distant markets. Now for the threats, changes in Estonia's domestic policy as response to external developments that could be detrimental to the Tallinn City region, particularly in the scenarios of focusing on construction and enclosure were emphasized. Talk about the characteristic of the event. The Jazzkaar Festival is a 10-day music festival held in Tallinn, Estonia every year in late April. Jazzkaar, which began in 1990 and is the largest music festival dedicated completely to jazz music in the Baltic region in Northern Europe, is the culmination of countries' communications of international jazz appreciation. Why is the event successful or known? First reason is because of its free concert stay. So cool pop-up concerts can be heard and seen throughout Tallinn's urban landscape during the Jazzkaar Festival, including markets, theaters, retail mall, square, cafeterias, and streets of the Old Town. The musicians offer opportunities for thrilling musical engagement and by involving the artists, dancers, and passers-by. Next one is they have a family program. So the education of the youthful audience remains a priority for Jazzkaar. The goal of the family concert is to provide high-quality entertainment for children and their parents. They educate the young audience about jazz, music, and raise future culture lovers who are open-minded and well-informed about Jazzkaar's host to 4 family concerts every year, featuring both Estonian and international performers. And of course, lastly, is because of the environment. It is essential for Jazzkaar to place a high priority on the environment and sustainable way of life in our directions. They put up their effort and best to be responsible with regard of the environment from the organizers and partners of the said event.
Now, continuing on the discussion is another friend who is fond of going to this festival, and she will now discuss the best practices in the development of the event.
Thank you, JB. Hi guys! By the way, I'm Lovedirk de la Cruz and I'm here to say at least a few details about Jazzkaar's best practices for event development. As we all know, Jazzkaar is the biggest jazz festival of the politics held in Tallinn, the capital of Estonia, since 1990. What are the ways or practices they do for event development? Aha! So, the festival's highlights were covered by the journalists from all over the world, and millions of European jazz aficionados were able to attend owing to Classica radio and EPU transmissions. In the spring of 2015, the Jazzkaar Festival attracted a record-breaking 21,000 music fans. As a result, Jazzkaar 2015 was crowned Estonia's greatest music by the Estonian music industry rather. Jazzkaar has been named one of the Europe's best festivals and has recently got the EFF Equality mark for the 2015 to 2016 season. In addition, Jazzkaar is a member of the European Jazz Network, which collaborates with other Estonian partner events. During Jazzkaar in the spring, cool jazz concerts may be heard and seen all across Tallinn city area, including public transit, the harbor, the airport, squares, and the old town streets. So, one of the reasons why the improvement or development of the event is good, it is also because they allow Estonian citizens to showcase the talent they have. So that's it. What's next, JB?
Hi guys, did you enjoy it? So the last discussion would be by the person who I also just met and who is an organizer of this and would be discussing the key elements in event planning process and the contingency plan and risk management of this festival.
Hi guys, my name is Leah Ramos and I'm here to explain to you the key elements in the planning process of Jazzkaar Festival. So Jazzkaar devotes an adequate amount of time to planning. The strategy covers logistics, programming, and event marketing. Jazzkaar creates a document that is accessible to the whole team, allowing each member to view other members' responsibilities and the overall picture. They begin by complying a list of primary tasks and then flemishing out as much as possible by the use of precise stages that must be fulfilled. It is critical to include a timeline in the plan, the amount of time necessary to complete a job. It is often underestimated and the preparatory process takes longer than anticipated. Most musicians' current strategy for increasing their bookability with Jazzkaar is to constantly remind them and suggest excellent ideas for a performance. And for the contingency planning and risk management, of course, we can avoid problems that may occur before, after, and during the event. The most problem is the weather. So for the weather, the contingency plans is that they ensure that there is an adequate shelter for everyone and they plan to relocate activities to sheltered areas or to alter the event schedule in order to salvage the day if possible. Next is health and safety issues. Participants, spectators, and event workers may sustain injuries. The event organizer have a legal obligation to arrange for such contingency. So for the contingency plans, they arrange for first aid and other qualified medical personnel to be on hand throughout the event. Next is they ensure driveways and entrances are not blocked for emergency personnel. Lastly is that they train all event staff on what to do in the event of an emergency or unexpected event. So that's it. Thank you, JB, for giving me the chance to share my knowledge about Jazzkaar Festival. Back to you, JB.
Phew! I really am enjoying this festival and I will again for the incoming 10 days of this festival in this country. Now, I really recommend you to visit this country for this festival because it is an experience that music lovers such as me must go before our last breaths. So also it's a festival in April presenting the hottest international and local jazz talent and filling the whole country with great sounds and activities, and also has 3,000 foreign artists from about 60 countries participate in this festival, so various flavors would be heard and I am so excited for that. Now, I hope you will visit this festival and this is all for today's video. Be kind to everyone. Bye!